Hello, I'm UpYeahX Toycat, and every single competitive speedrun in the last year and a half relies on this exact moment when you trade gold with a piglin, because there is a 2.18 to 4.73% chance that you will get ender pearls in return. And as a speedrunner, you need multiple trades of these ender pearls, which means that because of those low odds, you might bring as much as 100 gold to the piglins to guarantee that you'll get some in return. And even after trading this much gold of piglins, still some runs end up without a single ender pearl trade being given, which is why it's so crazy to hear that a group of speedrunners are trying a brand new strategy on a brand new seed that requires trading just 5 gold with piglins. This means that almost every single run, in fact more than 99% of runs, are immediate failures because you don't get those ender pearls, but that's why this is one of the most incredible underdog stories we've seen in the entire Minecraft speedrunning world, and I need to tell you about the entire story start to finish. But let's start by reminding you that this video is sponsored by me. That's right, I'm telling you to subscribe to me because I like making these speedrunning videos. It takes a lot of time though, and subscribing, perhaps with notifications turned on, is a great way to say, yeah, I'd like to see more of those. Thank you if you choose to do so, but let's start with a crucial piece of information, because this was obviously being speedran in 1.16. All speedruns that are relatively competitive are done in 1.16.1, because that is before they nerfed the piglin trades, or really fixed them, but again, nerf is a good way to describe it. They took it from being a 4.73% chance down to a 2.18% chance. And so that means you've got more than double the odds of getting an ender pearl from a single trade if you do it in these versions. And so that's what we've seen right here, although we'll do the maths later on what happens if you try in 1.17, because this is also possible to try in that version and maybe get the record there, because also there is something crucial to mention. Almost every single one of these records you're seeing right now on the speedrun.com leaderboard has been done with the exact same seed, and that seed was found basically a year ago now, and it just hasn't been beaten. This is right here, right now, an opportunity to use a brand new seed, one that isn't broken in 1.17, like you might notice this one is, and so that's what makes this so exciting. This is a potential way to beat the set seed glitchless record in 1.17 if you're willing to go through some crazy hoops, which let's now talk about those hoops, because this is the seed: 200, 950, 1479. It's just numbers, you don't need to care about it, but what you do need to care about is the result it has on your Minecraft game, because it will look something like this when you first spawn in, which, to do a little bit of Seed Sunday with you right here, as you can see, is not the most amazing looking spawn. It's just a little bit of a plains biome with a coastal village over here. Coastal villages are nice, but they're not amazing until you realize that actually this not only gives you the benefits of a village, so that's all of the hay bales, that's the chests that come in places like this, that's the animals, that's the string, the iron, etc. It's not just all of those things, but it's also access to the coast, and there's one huge benefit that can sometimes happen at the coast. You guessed what it is. It is in fact these, a chest, a buried treasure chest with iron, a huge amount of it, chain chest plate, as well as some potions, not that you care about those. But here's the greater thing than that. It's not just a village which is on the coast and so has one of these, but it's also, if you dig down below the chest and get all of its wonderful goodies, right above a stronghold. And the stronghold, this seems almost unbelievable, but this is why it's such a good seed, has contained within it, just over here, a lovely chest. What's in the chest? Wow, an ender pearl, that's nice. And then what's in this chest? Wow, is that a second ender pearl? 2 ender pearls right off the bat at spawn is really great. Plus an iron sword, which you're gonna want later, plus another iron sword and a golden apple, plus some gold, plus also a diamond. So really nice stuff, right? And then right over here, here's the end portal, and get this, it's an end portal with 6 IF enders already filled in. Add to that the 2 ender pearls that you've picked up earlier on this run, and you only need to get yourself 4 ender pearls plus 3 blaze rods to defeat Minecraft. That is why this seed is potentially so amazing, but it hits a little bit of a snag, right? I mean, we can pick up all of this gold from earlier if we want, but there are just 3 gold ingots in total, which is funny because there's almost as many iron swords as gold ingots. This is 5 gold ingots if you play the seed before 1.17, because it played around with chests and how they spawn, etc. But this means that you have just 3 to 5 gold to try and get 4 ender pearls with, and that's where the insane maths comes in. And so the seed would be worthless were it not for the fact that if you do go into the nether right here, you'll spawn in this an amazing location right next to a nether fortress. In fact, it's not just next to a nether fortress, which by the way gives you direct access to blazes, as you can see right here. You need 3 blaze rods, which you can get within your first 3 blazes if you're really lucky, and so that's standard Minecraft speedrun RNG. But the crazy RNG that makes this nuts is you need to rely on somewhere near your spawn there being a piglin to trade with. On this particular creative run, there is not a piglin, and then you need to rely on that piglin trading any one of your 3 to 5 gold, depending on which version you're playing with, 3 to 5 gold into at least 4 ender pearls. And realistically, for the sake of speedrunning, you actually need to get 5 to 6 of those, because if you can ender pearl all the way over to the fortress and back, it's actually much better for speed. And so now we've seen the seed, perhaps we can start to appreciate what this run truly is. This is a 3-minute 40 completion of Minecraft by Gucci Gang Lilaiku, and by itself that sounds like not so amazing. It's 17 seconds of the world record, but watch what actually happens in this run, and watch why this is potentially the start of something amazing, because this is trying out the new strategy to basically perfection in the first couple of minutes. Pretty much every decision he makes right here, even down to the jumps, where he's going and how he's getting these blocks, are timed to near perfection. There's maybe a half second to shave across the entire run from these small little decisions here and there, but you know, this is near perfection in the crafting and how it all happens, and it's very strange to even watch at this speed. But as you can see, he does everything very nicely. He gets that chest, fills up all of the iron that he needs. He takes nothing else because he doesn't need those for now. He just wants to have the bucket, which is essential for making an Earth portal. He wants to have a shovel so he can get down as fast as he humanly can, and he needs a pickaxe so he can get into that stronghold in as few seconds as possible. And in just 50 seconds, he's in the stronghold with an ender pearl, with an iron sword, with some gold. He's playing in 1.16.1 right here. So as you can see, once he breaks through this wall, he finds himself some more gold. He finds the other gold that is available in this version, and then he's got himself 5 gold. He's a minute in, he's about to go to the nether using the water lava technique. He sets himself on fire, which again is hilarious. This is the fastest run that's been recorded with this seed, and there's some setting themselves on fire, always fun to see. He does a really nice portal strat. This is one of the best ways to do it, and boom, he's in the nether portal with just 90 seconds on the clock. And as you can see, here's the insane thing that happens. When he gets into the nether, there is almost already, just as you can see right here, he uses one of his ender pearls very riskily to get over to here. But once he gets into the nether, he finds himself very close to a piglin. He finds one within just a few dozen blocks. And this means that when he starts mining these gold blocks, which takes a few extra seconds than it probably should, he starts the trades of the piglins, and he's so lucky because he gets himself a pearl trade on basically one of the first 3-4 trades. And so then when he goes in for the second mine and he finishes the last one, he gets a second ender pearl trade. And so now that he's got 12 ender pearls, what he can actually do is he can ender pearl right over to the nether fortress. He throws when he gets there, it's great, he's going wonderfully, he just has to eat. And here's the crazy bit, there are already blazes on the fortress itself, not even at the blaze spawner. And get this, he kills a blaze, he gets a blaze rod. He kills a second blaze, gets a second blaze rod. And so this means when he gets to the blaze spawner, which as we all know, spawns a blaze the first time you're near it, this means that he's got a chance to get that perfect 3 blaze rods in his first 3 blazes. And interestingly enough, it actually does happen. That is insane RNG on that one. But then he throws himself back to the portal. He goes into the nether, and he is now ready with 2 minutes 44 seconds on the clock to go to the end. And although, bear in mind, this is just 17 seconds of a world record, you've already seen like a few mistakes and optimizations and room for improvements. This is perhaps the biggest choke in the run. As you can see, he's lost looking for the golden apple, and then he tries to eat the golden apple, and then he makes a slight mistake opening the inventory a microsecond too early. And across this entire span, as you can see, if we time from the very start of that mistake where he opens his inventory to where he actually finishes the golden apple, there's about 10 seconds lost right there alone. And despite that, he still manages to pull his composure back. He gets the perfect 1 cycle ender dragon kill in right here. We're gonna watch it together. I always love watching these ender dragon kills. He uses an ender pearl to activate the critical bug, and then he starts killing the dragon when the dragon's about to fly away. He does, of course, this perfect free bed technique. The dragon's dead, he's not on fire, he's ready to wait for the game to complete, which it does, as you can see, in 3 minutes and 40 seconds. it's over, and 966 milliseconds. The game is over, the credits have rolled just 3 minutes 40 seconds after we started the game. So why is this so revolutionary, you might ask? I mean, that is an amazing seed, but that's 17 seconds of the world record. But the reason this is revolutionary is because when you look at that world record run, you'll notice in pretty much every part of it, it's optimized as well as it humanly can be. I mean, seriously, there is maybe a half second to save here, a half second to save there, and you know, across the entire run, you might get another second or two off it. It's been about 30 seconds of improvement over the last 6 months, but this seed that has been used for the last year is pretty much at its limit. There is not much you can humanly do to push this forwards, and that's wonderful and great. But you know, look at this same run I just showed you again and compare that. I'm not trying to criticize this runner here. I'm trying to say there is room for improvement. Again, I could not do this. I need to be clear when I say all of this. This is an amazing accomplishment, but the amazing accomplishment comes with the caveats. I mean, if we watch this again, you can see that, for instance, he throws the Ender Pearl all the way over there. If he'd thrown it a bit to the right, although, you know, like on average, it would have been worse, he could have gone to this piglin not just a couple of seconds earlier, not just 3-4 seconds earlier, but a full 5 to 6 seconds earlier. If, for instance, he didn't spend this time looking for a pickaxe, he could have saved 2 seconds. If, for instance, the Ender Pearl trades were just a tiny bit luckier, which I know we're talking about RNG and RNG, then what we could have seen right there is all of this time spent mining, this extra like almost 10 seconds, could have just been avoided fully. Even something just as simple as the second Ender Pearl. This is the logical place to do so if you don't know where the blazes are, but if the blazes spawn closer, or if he'd Ender Pearl closer to the blazes, we could have saved ourselves a full 4 to 5 seconds here. This is an insane, you know, like speedrunning technique because it has so much room for improvement, and so you might ask, how is this the fastest someone's ever done this? And that's where we have to start talking about odds, I think. So, are you ready to do insane odds with Toycat? This is the part of the video I've been excited for the whole time, and I'm sure not everyone cares about maths as much as me, but let's talk about why this is the most insane speedrunning technique, because the odds of this succeeding are less than 1%, and not like a little less than 1%, but a lot less than 1%, and let's explain why. So there are 3 major bits of RNG that are required for this run, and we'll start with the piglin spawning to begin with, which is less likely than you'd figure. You might assume that they always get the piglin, and it's all down to the Ender Pearl RNG. However, a lot of runs end because a piglin just doesn't spawn, and although working out the odds for piglin spawning are really hard to do, fortunately, we have Cracked Magnet to do the maths for us on this one, and it explains it very simply, because with a simulation distance of 4, there are 49 chunks within the simulation distance. Each of those chunks has a 1 in 200 chance every single tick to try and spawn in a mob. A tick is about 0.05 seconds. There are 20 ticks every single second, and so each tick, there is a 49, that's the number of chunks, divided by 200 chance of a mob spawning. If we then multiply that by 20, that tells us that every single, you know, like second, we'd expect a mob to spawn somewhere, but what if we want to work out the odds of a piglin spawning somewhere useful? Well, we could work out that a mob won't spawn closer than 24 blocks to you, and it won't spawn further away than 44 blocks. To keep things balanced, it can't sneak up on you, but also it can't spawn somewhere where you're never going to see it. So that actually means that off those 12,544 blocks in those 49 chunks, because 49 by 16 by 16 makes 12,544, off those 12,544 blocks, only 4,288 of them are in the range where a piglin could possibly spawn. So we divide 4,288 by 12,544, that's the number of possible blocks by the number of overall blocks in simulation distance, and we multiply that number by 49 over 200, and we get the number of spawn attempts per tick in the correct distance of the player. That is a very complex thing to follow, but to also add some complexity, the odds for piglin being the mob that spawns in the Nether Wastes is 15 over 171, just slightly less than a 10% chance, and so to do the maths on the odds of a piglin spawning per tick, we have to work out the number of blocks that can potentially spawn, we have to work out the odds per second, and we have to work out the odds of that mob being a piglin, which gives us odds of 0.0073469. You know, this is terrible. Okay, that maths was incredibly complex to follow. I don't blame you if you zoned out, so we'll put it in real people terms. If we think about in a given tick, the odds of a mob not spawning somewhere in that 24 to 44 block radius and that mob not being a piglin, the odds are about 99.2%. That means that over 20 ticks or a second, the odds of a piglin not spawning somewhere within the player's render distance is about 86% chance, and so the odds of there actually being a piglin is 14% chance in that first second. And we could talk about all the caveats on this, but I'll just say, let's assume over a few seconds, the odds of you not finding piglins are about 85-86%, and the odds of you actually finding piglins are about 15%, somewhere usable, somewhere that's within that ender pearl range, and somewhere that you can take advantage of. So this means that 85% of runs are immediately unusable, and only 15% of runs can continue to the next step, because once you've found your piglin, you then have to trade with him, and here's the here's the nutty bit, right? You only have 5 gold. 3 gold if you play in 1.17, and you know what the odds of getting 2 pearl trades from 5 gold are? Okay, so now we've explained the odds of you getting a piglin to spawn in. What are the odds of getting the right trades that you need from that piglin? Well, fortunately, the maths for this, it's very complex to follow, but if you have just 3 trades, the only ways that it can get you your 4 pearls that you need are for at least one of those trades to go favorably. You could also have all 3 of those trades be ender pearls, but if you work out the odds of this happening, which is 10 over 459 for every single trade the piglin gives you, or about 2.18% chance, this means that all of those odds added up together means that you have a 2.224% chance of getting 4 or more pearls from your free gold. That's actually not that terrible. It means that although 98% of runs will end early here, like, oh well, sucks that you didn't get your trades, about 2% of runs will give you 4 pearls or more. However, it's actually a little bit better than this, because your odds of getting it in 1.16, the version a lot of people are speedrunning, is about 3.7% and 96.3% respectively, which means that actually only 24 in every 25 runs, a little bit more than that, will go astray here, except there's an even bigger problem, because you don't just want 4 ender pearls. 4 ender pearls is enough to beat Minecraft, but it's not enough to do all the fancy ender pearl work that you see in the run right now. It's very nice. I like these too. You know, what are the odds of that actually working and getting more than 4 ender pearls? Sadly, it's less than a 3% chance of this actually happening. There is a greater than 97% chance that even with your 5 gold, even with your superior ender pearl trades from the earlier broken version of Minecraft, you will not get the 6+ ender pearls that you actually want if you're going to successfully beat Minecraft. In fact, a lot of, you know, for the most successful way, you'd actually want to have 7 ender pearls because you're critical on the end dragon, and so we'll leave things simple and we'll just say 3%, but it's actually a little bit less than 3% of this happening, and so now there is the third bit of RNG, which admittedly every speedrunner deals with, but it's especially crucial here. What are the odds of blazes giving you the blaze rods you need? There is a 50-50 chance every single time you kill a blaze as to whether it gives you a blaze rod, essential if you want to defeat the ender dragon, and although this run is very lucky that you only have to do it 3 times, 3 50-50s in a row, if you want all of them to go well, gives you a 12.5% chance of that actually going well, an 87.5% chance of absolute failure. If we're a little bit more generous with the margins and we say, okay, by the time you've got your piglins, by the time you've done your trades of them and it's gone really lucky, we'll assume that you can kill a 4th blaze and it won't ruin your run, assuming everything else has gone perfectly, then actually the odds jump up a little bit to 75% and to 25%. Because if you have 4 blazes killed, the odds of at least 3 of them dropping their blaze rods is 25%. Actually, the odds of all 4 of them dropping blaze rods is 32.5%. So I guess, you know, you wouldn't kill the 4th one at that point, but still, you got a 32.5% chance of success and only a 2/3 chance of not getting the blaze rods you need, even after going through this insane stuff right here. And so once you take these 3 odds and you calculate them together, what are the odds of you getting a successful speedrun attempt? It's pretty depressing, actually. According to Google, it's about a 0.14625% chance, again, and this includes the runs where you don't get the ender pearls you need to really take advantage of it, of you being able to get all of those things to go perfectly, and, you know, for the perfect speed run, you'd want even better luck than that. Somewhere between 998 runs and 999 runs in every 1,000 end in the 2nd minute, and because you just can't go anywhere, because either you didn't get your piglin, either you didn't get those trades, or you do get those trades, but the blazes aren't dropping rods. This is an insane thing that no one should attempt, but guess what? that hasn't stopped players from attempting it since July. There are multiple people giving this a whirl because this is the potential of Minecraft Bedrock speedrunning. It not only works in 1.16, it potentially works in 1.17, but it involves an insane amount of RNG. It involves admitting to yourself that 998 times in every 1,000, it's just not going to go well. In reality, it's 999 once you account for human error. That you're going to have to run 1,000 times just to have one honest attempt at doing this. The fact that this happened at all, the fact that anyone actually pulled this off is insane, and that's why it seems all the more likely that when we go back to this kind of flawed run, and that's why it makes so much sense that this choke right here, this thing that lost about 10 seconds on the world record run, is something that happened because, again, when it finally happens, I felt this pain myself. You finally have the insane thing you're hoping for, and you start to panic. You're like, oh god, this is 999 runs in the making right here. It's so easy to make a mistake, and the fact that he didn't make a mistake when finishing the game, it's something I don't think I could have done, and that's why this is so impressive. That's why, you know, like, this is so hard, because you need to be able to put your entire performance into every one of those runs. Just to do the very brief maths right here, there's 30 you know, sets of 2-minute runs in an hour. So if you need to make 1,000 of those runs, you need to do this for 33 hours non-stop. Just to wait, actually, the point where you know is about 2 minutes. Wait, no, it's even worse than that, because the time where he actually knew if he had the 3 blaze rods that were essential to defeat Minecraft was at 2 minutes and 33 seconds. 2 minutes, 35 seconds. So if we just simplify that down to 2.5 minutes in the perfect run, that means that you can actually only complete not a full 30 runs an hour, but 25 runs an hour. So 25 runs an hour, do the basic maths, that's 1,000 runs completed by 40 hours. It takes 40 hours of running this Minecraft seed to have one successful run, and that's why this run right here from July the 25th of 2021 is so incredible, and that's why when we see another one of these happen, you're actually not just watching 3 minutes of someone defeating Minecraft, you're watching 40 hours condensed down into 3 minutes. This is an insane thing that I don't know how people are managing to attempt, but I respect it so strongly that they're able to attempt it, that they're willing to attempt it, and that we're gonna see Minecraft speedrun history potentially being run, if they ever do make this. Will that happen? I would theorize that this is going to drive people insane. This is going to be the sort of thing that makes you quit speedrunning or attempt something new. But if someone pulls it off, this is going to be the most incredible thing, and that's why I'm looking forward to following the Minecraft Bedrock speedrunning space over the next month. And so I hope you all enjoyed today's video, where I hopefully explained somewhat why this is one of those truly incredible speedruns. This is a seed that really is worth checking out in its own right. If you like beating Minecraft fast, even if you're not going to be going for a speedrun world record, this is a great seed to give a little bit of a try on, because in reality, you can spend time mining for gold if you're willing to spend a few more minutes. And in reality, I would say this is the best seed for someone who just wants to beat Minecraft and doesn't want to spend hours and hours doing it. Because again, the fact that even if you don't find the end portal immediately, the fact that the game beats itself halfway for you, and then amongst the chest, it gives you another 2 ender pearls, makes this one of the greatest seeds. And if you take nothing else from this video, if the maths confused you, if everything else is too much and you're like, wow, I don't know why I watch ToyCat videos, I don't understand them, then maybe what you should take from this is that there is this amazing seed that really will give you an edge on beating the game if you really want the, the kick to finally do it. Because I know that about half you watching this video are really into speedrunning and you felt offended by what I just said, and half you are like, yeah, I don't know what I watched, but I'm looking forward to seeing it as well. And if that's you, then use this seed, get some ender pearls, go to the nether, and enjoy yourself, because you can only do it for so long before eventually you burn in lava. Because we all do burn in lava one day. Metaphorically or physically. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. Hope you all enjoyed, because I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.